Friday afternoon to you. This is our second edition of the severe weather update that we are going to be experiencing across the Carolinas this weekend. First off, today's outlook highlights a moderate risk for the mid-Mississippi River Valley into the mid-South, with a pretty good chance of tornadoes today, wind and hail. Also, it's pretty much an all-hazards day for places in the mid-Mississippi River Valley. Going into Saturday, day 2, the Storm Prediction Center just upgraded to a high risk in the deep south and a slight risk and even an enhanced risk across places like the southwestern mountains of North Carolina. And the slight risk goes towards the Boone and including probably Shelby and most of the upstate of South Carolina now in the slight risk for severe weather Saturday. And going into Sunday, we still have a slight risk pretty much across the eastern parts of the state. So, a very volatile situation, especially towards the west and southwest. But fortunately for the Carolinas, for the most part, this system is expected to lose some steam as it makes its way eastward. So let's take a look at some of the model data that we have. So this is the 12Z 3-kilometer NAM. This is pressure from weathernerds.org. This is our pressure and our effective supercell composite parameter. So this tells us where effective wind shear and the thermodynamics are overlaid to give us some supercells across the area. So as we push this forward, looking at wind or Saturday night into Sunday, the environment becomes increasingly unstable across parts of the southwestern mountains of North Carolina. So as these storms make their way eastward, even though like late at night, thermodynamically we'll lose some steam, but as far as the shear goes, we will that will be more than enough. So this is 8 a.m. Sunday morning, so we still have a pretty good environment of supercells across the western parts of North Carolina and getting into the upstate and even central parts of South Carolina and into Georgia. So this is going to be very interesting to see how this plays out. And like the NAM has pretty much slowed down the progress of the passage of the prefrontal wave of thunderstorms that will develop in Mississippi and Alabama and move eastward. So something to watch because the environment will become increasingly unstable around the Charlotte metro region. This is by 2 p.m. and eventually this all passes by early that afternoon, it appears. So let's look at the reflectivity. So what we have here is what the forecast radar should look like according to the 3-kilometer NAM, but I've also overlaid updraft helicity. So this is the model is going to highlight areas of where they think or where it thinks updrafts or thunderstorms will be rotating. So the radar is in the colors, and in the pink here is where the model thinks that there will be some rotating updrafts. So this is indicative of some very strong to severe thunderstorms, perhaps tornado producing supercells, but definitely wind and hail producers as it makes its way up to Tennessee. This is very late Saturday night, 11 p.m., 10 p.m. Central, 11 p.m. Eastern. The NAM really takes the energy out of these storms across the southeastern United States and really is pretty much a heavy rain and perhaps a wind threat across the Charlotte metro region by between 8 a.m. and 11 a.m. Sunday morning. And then it tries to regenerate some thunderstorms behind that as the atmosphere kind of recovers. but you know, that probably won't happen, like it didn't happen last time this storm system last time a storm system went through the western part of the Carolinas on a Sunday. If we look at the HRRR model, this is the same thing. We got the what the forecast radar image looks like, as well as overlaid of storm relative or storm updraft helicity. And you'll note the main difference here is that the HRRR is really, really bullish on the amount of rotating thunderstorms across the southeastern United States Saturday. Look at that. I mean, that is based off the HRRR, no wonder the Storm Prediction Center raised that up to a high risk. But the NAM 3 kilometer tends to be rather conservative. So that's also a good thing to look at. But the HRRR model here is very, very bullish on the amount of severe weather getting into the Alabama, even Georgia and southwestern mountains of North Carolina by 2 a.m. Sunday morning. This particular model has some rotating thunderstorms, perhaps not necessarily tornado producers, but some supercells, so hail and wind producers across the southeastern or southwestern mountains of North Carolina. And then again, this pushes eastward across the Charlotte metro area by 6 a.m. And really loses a lot of steam. Those mountains tend to break up the vast majority of storms, but it makes its way across the Charlotte metro region by 8 a.m. and that's as far as the model goes out in this case. But so again, wind producers are the expected outcome from the Charlotte metro region on Sunday morning. However, a little bit more intense convection perhaps anticipated by the HRRR in the southwestern part of the mountains. So like places like Murphy and Franklin and up towards Haywood County, Canton maybe. This area might see some more robust updrafts, so more wind and hail producers and perhaps some isolated tornadoes expected. So that's what it looks like right now. I will make another video later on tomorrow sometime. But yeah, so that's the way it's shaking out like right now. And I will update you guys later. Y'all be safe out there.